Larry, we can see you playing with your water. Woo! All right. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it is. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It's another edition of Funny Bits Podcast. And we have a super, super special guest today. But before we bring her in, let's get the crew. Y'all already see who's here. We got Larry XL right next to me at the top. What's up, Larry?
What's up? How's it going?
Good. And at the bottom square, we got Karl Rogers, y'all. What's up, man? You're so silly. Oh gosh, like I'm super excited. It's another Friday.
What's up?
Friday Eve. Yes.
That's right. Get them barbecue pits ready, everybody. Get them pits ready.
Yeah, Friday Eve. We don't say the T word here. Y'all know what it is. Friday Eve just sounds more festive anyway.
Always did.
I'm
always
ready to party.
will.
I'm always ready to party. So let's get, I mean, like, how y'all been? What's been going on this week with y'all? I know Larry was just saying you had an exciting Lyft drive before.
Just out there, just grinding. Basically, I'm trying to figure out what I can do to spice things up or to get back into some sort of a groove. So I think I figured out a way to step up get my workout game back to where it should be.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So what are you planning? I'm interested. That's because I
I don't know if I should put this out there. So basically, I went down to Baltimore this weekend to pick up a few things from my parents' house, and I found out that down there, like restaurants, you can eat indoors in restaurants. Some of the restaurants down there, and the gyms are open. Planet Fitness is open down that way.
Shut up.
So I figure it's like on the weekends, I might as well just go down to Baltimore and just get some workouts in.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe eat out.
Right. Okay, but then you were looking at me crazy last week when I said I went to Six Flags, but we won't talk about that now, will we?
All right, but Six Flags is not the same as going to Six Flags is a very social experience.
Depending on who you're with, and like I said, they have all the precautions in place. They have the nice little circles where it's 6 feet apart, even in the lines. Everybody had to wear masks. So
okay.
But I need to know, how is Baltimore functioning indoors? What are they doing?
The restaurants are doing social distancing.
Okay. So they just have the less tables.
Like 25% capacity. You gotta, eat with people you live with. I don't know.
Yeah,
like that. Of course. I didn't ask.
But when you sit down, you can take your mask off, right? I was at a place last Saturday. I went and hung out in Philly, and it's an outdoor deck. So, but they were very strict, like even waiting in line, masks on. When you get up to walk around, mask on. But when you sit at your table, you stay there. You can take your mask off to eat and drink.
Right.
As soon as you get up, you have to wear your mask. So
yeah,
I thought that was good. And
I mean, I was down there. I was like, "Whoa, restaurants! I'm not just going to my favorite sushi place for lunch." And I was like one of like 3 tables in the entire place that had people in them, and all the waitresses had masks on. I had my mask on, so I sat down and everything, and I got my sushi grub on.
I know that's right. See. And you're still alive. Look at that.
Yeah.
Right, so that's good. Karl, what's going on with you? How was your week?
I mean, very, very boring, I guess, compared to going down Maryland just for some sushi.
It wasn't just for sushi. It was I had some other stuff to attend to.
Right.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I'm just on my grind trying to pick up from all this social distancing without business. It's kind of crazy, but it's starting to pick up. I guess people have realized that they do need life insurance and just trying to get to people. But it's just people are interested. It's just interesting. Like, you know, I guess after the social distancing was kind of lifted a little bit, where people are trying to go out, they're like, "Oh, I don't need life insurance that much now. I'm good." Until they start sneezing.
Who are thinking like that? That's crazy.
You'd be surprised, man. That's why I get a whole new, you know, list of clientele, because, you know, Ray, Keisha, and
you know what?
and Rolanda, they's a mess. Like, I ain't paying my life insurance. My phone bill is due.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'm super excited to have this amazing, amazing woman on our show. Like, I feel like I finally caught that unicorn that everybody talks about, because I've had the chance to see this woman live on stage. She's amazing, and I love her social media presence as well. So I had to bring her on and see what was going on with her during this pandemic and everything else that's happening in the world. So without further ado, because like she's waiting and I'm super excited. Like, well, so let's bring her in here. But first, let me just make sure everything is everything, because, you know, I need to make sure this is right. So for people who don't know, Leighann Lord is our guest today. And like, I snagged this amazing she puts up these jokes and these quips like online that I love. And like, she's hilarious, she's beautiful, and I just love this because I mean, like, going through her social media, I was just like, wow. So, as you can see, she says there should be a wine bar at the clinic for adult children who take their parents to medical appointments. Then we could all use access to ride. Like, that is hilarious to me. Without further ado, let's bring Leighann Lord into the studio. What's up?
Wow, LaTice, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Gentlemen, hello. Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you for that very kind introduction.
Oh, come on now. I mean, I could have said more, but I'd rather.
Well, go on.
I'd rather have you in the studio so you can talk and people can see you, and I love it that you're here. And thanks for doing the show. We appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely. And I have to say, your invitation to the show was coinciding with my hurt feelings of how come I haven't been on her show?
Really?
I was about to send a message and then I got the invite. I was like, okay.
Look at that timing. Look at God. Let me tell you.
I'm like, what's wrong with me? How come
nothing at all. Listen, we've been like, first of all, like, this is episode 11 of our reboot. Okay. So we just started to add guests back to the show. And trust me, you're in the top 5, to be honest. You're in the top 5. So
I'll take that.
Amazing. So you know, we do this every week, and Friday Eve is, I think it's like the party before the party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, unless you're not partying all the other days as well, because days mean nothing. What do they mean?
Days like, we're going to get into that too, because we are smack dab in the middle of this pandemic, and a lot has changed for everyone, globally, obviously, and especially within our industry as comedians. So we're going to talk about that, because I want to hear what you've been doing and how you've been coping. But we got to get into some of these topics. So we have some topics that I would love to hear your opinions about, your thoughts, because we're all on social media, so we see posts, we do our own posts. So how are you feeling about this election coming up for 2020?
Whew, girl, I'm all in it for the flim-flammery of it all. I watched the DNC last week, and I don't mean just at night. I logged on during the day. I listened in on some of the caucuses. Because what else am I going to do?
Right.
And then I started this morning. I will say the RNC is not as technically organized. It's not as beautiful as the DNC.
They're trash. Let's just say they're trash.
And please don't think I'm sucked in by the pageantry of it all. I work in show business. So. I get the value of putting on a good show.
Yeah,
and on that end, the RNC is failing. What was that, Love?
You got to understand, like the RNC's convention last time was trash, and they won.
I know. Let's say for those of us who put on a good show, I'm a little nervous now. Nervous. But I tuned in this morning and was surprised. I didn't expect the president. I didn't expect the president to be speaking this morning, but I guess he talks all the time, so why not? But I'm deep in it. I will be at the election. If I'm mailing ballots, seeing our dog, whatever it takes, I will be there. Yeah. It's at this point, it's a protest vote, but it's a vote for humanity.
Yeah. Hashtag humanity. Let's say that because that is a real thing. Okay. It's deep. Karl, did you check out the DNC too? Like, were y'all watching it?
Yeah, we checked it out. My mom called me and was like, "Ooh, black people on television again."
I know that's right.
She
spoke your mama like watching reruns of Good Times. What's happening? I don't understand.
No. Actually, Good Times is me and my daughter's thing. But my mom has a whole different level of TV watching. It's like the Oval, reruns of Power.
Oval, stop.
I don't even want to get into that. But she was like, she was talking like Barack Obama and Michelle Obama was like her new pastors, First Lady Obama. The first missionary Baptist church spoke so well this evening, Karl.
I can't. Stop.
She sent them a love offering.
You're going to make me break out my fan. Here we go. Right? Go ahead. Keep talking.
We all miss them so much. Can I just say we miss them? Like
I miss a president who had some semblance of sanity, who could speak in full sentences.
Yes. Oh, did y'all see?
Don't lean when they talk.
They actually, there's something brewing about them allowing a third term for a president, and it was centered around Obama. Like they're passing, it looked like they were about to try to pass some legislature and possibly make it so that he could, if he wanted to, run again. I was like, don't play with my emotions because
don't do that.
We are so fragile right now. I just don't even.
Well, that's his get down though. They're trying to get you worked up about things that he legally can't do.
Right.
So they can distract you while you're looking over here. There's all this other shit that they're slick shit they're trying to do.
They can't do that's what they do. Yeah. Listen, and I don't fall for any of it. Listen. All the sensationalism happening, with let's talk about the United States Postal Service. Let's talk about that and how Trump tried to get this stuff removed right in the middle of, so we can't vote and mail this stuff in. What? So most recently, did you see that they got the $25 billion fund for the USPS? Which is fantastic. Thank you. They finally halted, but they were literally removing mailboxes in New Jersey. In Morristown, New Jersey, there was a film from them physically picking up these mailboxes and putting them on these big trucks, taking them away. What is happening?
See, that's in Morristown. You can't touch a mailbox in Camden because too many Social Security stuff go through that. Grandma will whoop that tail, but touch it.
I can't.
She'll send her 3, 4, 5 grandsons.
Right.
Y'all like standing on the corner. Y'all stand by that mailbox for grandma.
Right.
They touch that light. Don't you touch grandma's? No, that's grandma's mailbox. Don't touch it. That's Obama's mailbox. Don't touch it.
Right. Because how we supposed to get our little $5 Christmas money and grandma don't get her check?
I know.
Ironically,
we got people in our lives that are way too old to figure out Venmo and Cash App and stuff like that. We need, they don't write a check.
Yeah. But ironically, in Seinfeld's latest comedy special, he has a whole bit on how the postal service just needs to stop and like just give up. Like, and I mean, before it was actually a possibility, you know, we're laughing, but somebody showed this clip again and I was like, oh shit. And literally like at the end, he's like, listen, just tell the post office to take pictures of whatever it is, what our mail is, and email it to us. I said, I'm done. I'm so done. Like, it's like the post office is busted. I was like, wow, Jerry. And then today he comes out slamming the owner of Stand Up New York. Did you see this yet, Leighann?
I did.
Did you read it? Girl. I was like, ooh, talk about it. He was hyped. What did you think about it?
Well, for context, it was one of the owners.
Yes,
article. Yeah, because they are co-owners.
Yes.
And he wrote an article, in case anyone has not read it. It is about him leaving New York. He claims to love the city. You know, I couldn't tell whether he was raised here or just lived here a long time. There was some inconsistencies in his article, but how essentially he was saying New York was dead and was never coming back.
Yep.
And that is what Jerry Seinfeld responded to, I guess, from his home in Long Island. Mm-hmm. Like, how dare you slam New York City? Right. Yes. Because he didn't have to ride this out on the Upper West Side.
And I guarantee you, like, is it like, you know better than I do. Does Jerry just drop into like, you know, the Cellar or like Stand Up New York ever and just do guest sets? Or he just
too.
Okay.
Yeah, in the before time for sure. Mm-hmm. You know, but I read the article and I thought it was incredibly classist and tone deaf. Like, there's not all of us could just pick up and buy a home in Florida.
Right. And that's what Jerry was going in on too. Did you see that? Like, yo, Jerry went in. He was like, how dare you?
But Jerry is worth way more money than the guy who owns, you know, that comedy club.
Right. Well, Jerry's standpoint is, don't say that comedy like is dead, okay? Basically,
or that New York is dead.
New York is dead, right?
There's a whole bunch of us who are living here, born and raised here, generations deep here, who aren't leaving.
Right?
So how dare you?
Yeah.
You know, if you survived, you know, the economic crisis of the 70s, if you survived the blackout in the 70s, if you survived the economic upheaval of the late 80s and the mid 2000s, if you survived 9/11, you know, if you survived the mortgage crisis, where are we going?
Hurricane Sandy. Listen,
Hurricane Sandy. We have built every time.
Yes, and one of the things that Jerry said, he was like, listen, you know, the village. He was like, the village, everything will change and it will adapt. Like, that's what New Yorkers do.
That's what human beings do.
Yes, hello. But
so basically,
the very end of the article literally is Jerry saying, he was like, and these were his words in the article. He says, "Oh, and about that Manhattan venue? ? He goes, I have been on stage at your comedy club, Stand Up New York, quite a few times, and it could use some sprucing up, if I don't mind my saying. I wouldn't worry about it. You can do it from Miami." Ooh, boop. Seriously, like
that was major shade. I was like, did you just put on your black girl panties for that one? That was kind of.
I said, look at Jerry
trying to flex.
Yo, he told me, he was like, listen, retreat, go to Florida. I'm telling you, y'all have to read that because.
And it's short. It's a shorter read than the article that he's commenting on.
I read the article he was referencing, like the New York is Dead article, and I remember thinking to myself, this is really just a kind of a petty article, because this guy is just like, oh, my 4 favorite restaurants aren't open anymore. New York is dead. I'm like, really? You like
get your life, okay?
You can't get your favorite falafel place folded up. All of a sudden, the city's dead. Yeah.
You know what? If you've lived here long enough, that kind of happens. You pull up in your ride and go, "Oh, that one's closed. All right, let me find something else." That's common for us.
But
it's not like we only have 3 restaurants. It's New York.
But on top of that, places have delivery. You can have takeout. Like there's nothing has died. They're trying to slowly have the, like, how is it with restaurants with the outside eating? Because that was there anyway. Some of the restaurants already had tables and everything set up in New York. You could, so that was there. Like yes.
I'm sorry. I would much rather do takeout than do outdoor dining in a city as crowded as New York. Because the last thing I want to do is be sitting down trying to eat, and there's like a band like 6 feet away that just like a pop-up band is playing. Homeless people like
that's exactly what
landing on my table. This is
around
with table scraps.
The exhaust that gets mixed into your food as you're eating. I will say that's where perhaps the outer boroughs do a little bit better.
Yeah.
For those of us who aren't living in Narnia, Manhattan, if you're living in Queens, maybe half gentrified Brooklyn, there are some options that can be a little bit more pleasant.
Slightly. So let's talk about Kellyanne Conway. Did you see she's stepping away? And the best part was that her 16-year-old daughter is filing for emancipation.
Yeah. Well, Kelly sees the writing on the wall. They're like, oh, they arrested Bannon? Let me get the hell out of here. I ain't going down.
Well, you know what? If that's the case, she should have stayed at the White House to have that White House cover, because apparently they can arrest you anywhere, even on a billionaire's yacht.
That's
so when they come for you, they come for you.
When they want you, they go get you. That is correct.
I will say that's comforting, because you know how they do us. Yeah. We gonna be under the jail. Like, they going after white folks like that. Ooh, Black Lives Matter. Okay.
Right.
And then
stuff like that.
People gonna run.
What'd you say, Karl?
They scooping up white folks. Y'all run. No one's safe.
I'm popping my popcorn. I'm going to sit back and watch.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That is exactly
what daughter seeking emancipation. That is some serious white privilege shit right there. You're 15 years old and you're like, fuck it, I'm going to go on my own. I'm going to go solo.
You know what? I'm a grown ass woman. I ain't trying to lead these people.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Yeah.
Listen, we've heard about these kid stars that have had to do the same thing, but that's a total different subject when their parents are like stealing money from them. I think did Gary Coleman go through that?
Yeah.
Some other child stars do that. Like that's real stuff, and it's like, wow, you can't even trust your parents.
Well, here's my question. At 16, all I really had going for me was an allowance, admittedly from my parental overlords. So it wasn't enough to go, you know what? I'm a strike out on my own. So where's this child getting coin, and how is she just not going to say, you know what? I'm going to live with auntie for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't that be the next option? Auntie, grandma, somebody, you got to emancipate.
But you still might want the emancipation. Well, what it said was because of their political views, she wants to separate herself from them. So obviously she's not for the current administration, and she's tired of all the lies and everything crumbling as it should.
Okay.
She's moving it with the Obamas.
She can't even vote yet, number one. Number two, does she realize that political life that both of her parents are leading have paid for her lifestyle thus far?
Listen.
How you gonna bite the hand? I'm sorry. I won and I got an attitude.
I wouldn't leave Kelly Conway. I would extort the hell out of her though.
No, I can see both sides, but yes, I'm team daughter right now because.
Are you really?
I am.
Let her come on the couch then.
And I'm a mom. But let me tell you, like, I think it's good that we can see someone so close to Kellyanne actually saying, I don't like what I see. Well, I want to get away from her.
Her husband is doing the same thing too.
Did that.
Yeah, her husband doesn't have to say hates Trump and is spoken out against her work with Trump. So that's got to be like a tense household.
The father should just go on their secluded island or something. And
right, I mean, because the father is also stepping away from his position. I think it's with the Lincoln Project. Okay. And I am so reluctant to give DAP on that side.
right?
Just because I'm really hot, just mad. But there is something to be said for two parents who go, you know what, this is serious. This is our daughter. We need to do something.
Yeah.
And if our jobs are really causing this child some distress, maybe we need to sit down,
right,
and get some duct tape and blanket part of this chick. No, I'm kidding. I mean, talk to her.
Okay, so let me put this out there. So, we're all entertainers. We all are about show me the money. Like, could they put a number on a check to make you want to work with someone like Donald Trump on any level?
Sir. No, sir.
Yeah.
No.
And the only way they might get me is if I'm half asleep, because the bourbon did its job and somebody said something about Space Force and showed me that logo that looks like Star Trek. And then I might be like, hey, wait a minute.
Yes. I love it. First of all, we're going to talk about that too, because I'm a Trekkie as well. And I love that you are into all of that. And I think I do remember you saying how your delivery for your alcohol had come one day or something.
Oh no, I got an announcement. Like, you know how they send notifications on your phone? You don't even remember signing up for this, but there was a notification. I believe it was from Uber Eats. They're delivering alcohol with no delivery charge until September 30th. I was like,
hello. See?
Hi.
Thank you.
Because that's what keeps you on the straight and narrow. When I have to shuffle out and deliberately go to the liquor store, like, you feel the weight of that. What is happening here?
Last weekend, stopping on my way home and getting another bottle of 1800. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Like, why? But then I realized going into this one, instead of going to my normal store, I saved like over $15 with the same bottle. I was like, ooh, $20.
It's like clothes. It's like anything else. You got to shop around.
You do. Yeah, right, Leighann?
Yeah. He's cracking up. He tells me all the time about, and I don't drink as much as he thinks I do. But every time I mention alcohol, look at his face. Every time I mention alcohol.
and you too can save money on your alcohol by dialing 1-800.
I don't.
How many? I remember the comedian's breakfast when we would go to the diner. It would be 12 noon, and you'd be 4 Bellinis deep.
I would be 2 Bellinis
breakfast.
Yes, 2 Bellinis in. No, they're so good. Like, come on, it's Sunday. It's brunch. You're supposed to drink.
Man, they knew LaTice at that restaurant. Yeah. As soon as she comes in, they was like, "You're a Bellini, ma'am." And then she has one.
I was like,
I'm not seeing a problem with that. You walk in. Right? Listen, they do that at the Ritz-Carlton. As soon as you walk in, there's a dude with a tray. Here's your champagne, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Like, I don't see the problem.
You got reinforcements today, man. You just got to hand me my tea,
right now, because none of us, besides Leighann, make Ritz-Carlton money. Okay.
Lordy. Speaking.
Okay, no. Let me be real clear. This wasn't, let's take a trip. This was somebody booked me on a gig that was at the Ritz-Carlton.
Nice.
So,
okay.
I feel you. Speaking
Nevertheless, the Ritz-Carlton is the Ritz-Carlton's, madam.
It is. It sure enough is. I walked in, I was like, I was born for this.
Exactly. So let's talk about comedy. And so real quick, I'm gonna make you go back in time a little bit. We had Sir Rick Younger on.
I saw that, yes.
And he told me offline about how you guys, it was you, him, Dean Edwards, Mark Theobald, and who am I missing?
Wally Collins.
Wally, that's right. Wally, that all of y'all, right? That was it, right? All of you.
Yeah, that was us.
And y'all would tour around. First of all, when he said that, I was like, oh my God, you need to bring this show back. Like, for real. And so he was like, well, where we are now, I don't know if we would all be on the bill because we all demand a certain amount of money. And I was like, all right, but it's in the middle of a pandemic. Like,
thank you.
To like be a little flexible and get this show. Because I said I would be front and center watching this show. I mean, talk about that. And talk about, like, how long ago was that?
Oh, girl, this had to be, what do folks call it? The early aughts? Is that what it is? I don't remember getting the email to vote on that, but whatever. And we would perform. It was every Thursday night at Broadway Comedy Club. Shout out to Joanna Briley, who at the time was very young in comedy, and she was our stage manager. On occasion, she would get called on the host to be like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, yeah, nobody does when they start. Go on out there, girl.
Right, going out there. Have some fun.
And we had some great shows. Nice. And, you know, again, it was called Sold Out Comedy. And one of my favorite things was we did a photo shoot. I don't know if he showed you these pictures, but they were. This was like on the Upper West Side, under like the Riverside Drive, area, and they were all dressed in black, and I was dressed in this. It looked like a red dress, but it was like a red tank top with a matching skirt. It was
dope.
It was just It was like such the album cover shot. It was like.
Like you're all so amazing, and
we're different, and we each have our own style. Nobody's incredibly. Oh, you know who we missed? Mike Yard. Mike Yard was in there too.
I knew it was somebody else. Okay, Mike.
Yeah, no, it was quite the crew, and we all didn't perform together all the time because it was so many of us, but largely, and it was. Rick saying, what am I going to do this year? I want to, create an opportunity, not just for myself, but for others.
Right.
And he pulled together something that in its time was wonderful. And I believe we could all do it again.
Yes, you can. You need to.
Because this pandemic is an economic leveler. Can I say that?
Yeah. But this time I could be the stage manager and get y'all together and rock it out and be on the side like, oh my God. First of all, so like
you got way too many credits right now to be stage managing.
Oh, stop. Yo, listen, I just want to be there and be able to be a part of that because it's so amazing.
Now, I understand right now that a lot of comics are kind of like angry at Cuomo because he's kind of kicking the legs out from under them what little gigs that they have going.
Let's talk about that. What's going on with Cuomo?
Yeah, well, basically he's saying like places that are open can't have any type of performances in them. So even the places that were doing like outdoor shows or restaurants were doing outdoor shows now can't do comedy shows anymore. And a lot of comics in my Facebook feed are just hella pissed at him right now for that because what little gigs that they were able to squeeze out in New York now are just no more.
Well, that's like the thing that happened on the West Coast in San Francisco. They shut down these clubs that were already operating since like June or July with outdoor shows. And they came a couple weeks ago and said no more. And they're like, what is going on? With no reason or anything like that. So I don't understand, like, why are they trying to kill comedy?
No, well, first of all, you got to understand, they didn't give a damn about us before the pandemic. What makes you think they give a damn about us now when they've got other, things breathing down their neck?
Right.
Our industry is not a priority. We're not Broadway.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
And even Broadway's not coming back till 2021, maybe.
Right. But at the same time, I'm still not going to back down and say that we are essential people. Like even the shows that are happening now in Philly, they're starting to come, do this outdoor stuff. And it's Punchline started their outdoor and it's 50 people. All these shows are selling out like crazy. People are starving for comedy. They need that.
Well, here's the thing though. So like there's this one like promoter in the area who's been doing a bunch of shows in the last like month and a half. And I noticed that like all the headliners he bring in are all people he's bringing in from New York. Maybe he'll throw, local guys, an MC spot or maybe like an occasional feature spot, but it's basically a lot of New York cats coming through like, and you know what, if you got to do that to draw people, I understand, but it'd be nice if, a Philly area venue would use this opportunity to promote more area acts.
Yeah, showcase it. Yeah, they actually start, like I can testify for Punchline. They have these showcases where they're doing the local talent, right? That would be booked for like host work or feature work. And they're doing these showcases. So it's like, David James and Friends and, Peggy O'Leary and Friends. But these bigger shows that they're bringing in, now they're using the space across the street. That's giving them more room, and they're bringing in like Andrew Schultz from New York and Rachel Feinstein. I think she was just there, or she's coming. And so all these people are coming down to perform at Punchline now, which is interesting. Helium, unfortunately, where they're located, they have no outdoor access. So they haven't been able to do anything because they're smack dab in Center City.
But they can partner with a diner that has a parking lot.
There you go. See, look at that.
Lot shows here. People, listen, if there's anything I love about comics in our industry right now, the hustle.
Right.
Like everybody kind of got knocked back in March, and then they just came back like the Matrix, like, word?
Right.
We got to get creative with it. And I love what everybody's doing, because you almost can't do it wrong. Well, until the government steps in.
Right.
But, doing outdoor shows, trying to figure out your spacing, doing parking lot shows. I did a parking lot show for J Nog, and I couldn't believe, I'm like, are people really going to show up in their cars? And they showed up in their cars. Sold out shows.
I'm super excited. I have one of those drive-in shows coming up in September, and I'm hyped.
It's great. And I know what if you haven't done one, what comics are afraid of, because there's a lot of fear right now. Like, how do I perform in this environment? You perform. If you're a performer, you're going to figure it out. But I've never seen the audience want to show you how much they're there. They're leaning out the window. They're flicking their lights. They're honking their horns until they say stop honking the horns because the cops are coming. But they're all smushed up in the mirror. Like, we see you. We see your funny. I mean, they're so hungry. And it's like,
I don't know what these comics talk about. I don't know what's going to happen. Like, dude, if you've ever done a set at the Grizzly Pear, there's nothing a drive-in show, a bunch of people in their cars can do to you that you haven't already experienced a million times.
Yeah.
But then now, how do you feel about virtual shows? Because I know more comics who are nervous about those.
Oh, virtual shows suck. They do.
Larry. Let me just tell you, Larry was not on Team Zoom shows, okay? Yeah. Not at all. And I was already like doing them for weeks and weeks. So I was like, oh, this is great, because we needed that outlet. And there's a Sunday mic that used to be obviously in Philly at this place called Fergie's that literally has been running 22 weeks every Sunday night. Cat Mosley and the crew, they put on a showcase open mic, and there's at least 40 comedians. There's two halves to the show. They do it Facebook Live via Zoom, and it is so much fun. Like, I'm one of the resident hosts, so I can come in and be like part of the host panel. We heckle, we have fun, we talk shit. It's just like, because we need that. We can't see each other in normal circumstances. So this has been like a blessing in disguise. They've been doing that for 22 weeks. Yep.
It's just another way to work the muscle. You got 2 shows in September?
2 shows in September that are like Zoom comedy shows. I don't know how they're gonna do it. I'm setting it up, whatever. I'm gonna do my thing. I just need enough running space so I can do my thing. But
Karl, you've already done it. You did the fundraiser that
that one right there was so much fun.
Yeah.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
My big question is, because when the pandemic first hit, Roy Wood Jr. said, "Look, whenever this," and it turns out he's probably right too. Because look,
what did he say?
Things get back to normal, it's going to be hard for those comics that aren't household names or just like local comics, because when those venues open back up, the guys that are doing arenas and theaters, they're not going to be able to go back to doing arenas and theaters, so they're going to flood the clubs. So even when the clubs do open back up, I guarantee you for the first 6 to 12 months, a lot of these clubs are going to be doing stunt bookings if they're even opening back up at all. And a lot of comics are going to be frozen out of work for a good year, because everybody's going to be doing special event shows just to fill their coffers back up.
Well, that's all right. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring back sold out comedy. It's going to star Leighann and Mark Theobald and Dean Edwards and Rick Younger. And we going on tour, and we going to find a parking lot, and that's going to be the show. I already have my mic and my amp. We going to do it. Let's go. Done deal. And we're going to make tons of money because people are going to be starving for entertainment.
Indeed.
I know a few parking lots.
Listen, I'm just saying, people have gotten creative, and I'm not. Yep. I produced very early in my career enough to know that that's not what I wanted to do. I had no interest. But watching people do it and put these things on, and Larry, I remember that Roy Wood article. That was early on.
Yeah, that was like the first week.
Yes, I was still curled up on my couch, rocking back and forth when I read the article. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
What is that gonna do?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. But maybe it's because I've been in the game a long time. It always required hustle. There's not a time when it didn't.
Right.
So it's always about repurposing and maximizing your skill set. Yep. So all right, fine, you're not doing as many stand-up shows. Are you hosting? Are you doing conferences? Are you doing podcasts? Like, are people paying you to do a podcast? Your skills are transferable.
Right.
How do you do that? And I feel like I've cobbled it together for so long that I figured that's how it's done. You know, so the pandemic hit. I'm like, oh, so I'm just doing it more from my house in my chair. Okay.
Right. So let's talk about that. So what have you been doing? I know you've been online. I see you online. So what have you been doing during this pandemic?
Oh, goodness. Well, when I'm not drinking bourbon,
yes.
I fully endorse day drinking.
Yes.
So I did embrace the Zoom shows. And in the beginning, they did suck until people figured out how to do them better. Mm-hmm. That you need a dedicated tech person. You need a really, really good MC. To instruct people the same way you would if they're coming into a club. You're coming into the Zoom room. How do you conduct yourself? You need somebody to tell them that. So I've been doing Zoom shows from the beginning. I was very, very lucky. There's an organization that I've done shows for. I actually emceed their conference last year. And they invited me when they canceled the conference this year. And they said, Leighann, we're sorry. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And as I'm marking it off my calendar, they go, hey, would you like to, host our lecture series instead? I was like, I'd be delighted.
Hello. Hello.
They also have me, they brought me in to co-host their podcast. So it's I don't want to be flippant and say when one door closes, another one opens. It's not, but you keep consistently putting yourself out there doing the work. Yeah. It's like hanging out in the clubs. That's how you get the work. People see you and they go, oh yeah, LaTice, yeah. I want you to do this show.
Yep.
To me, social media is that. So instead of me having to sit on a bar stool, I'm constantly putting out content.
Yep.
And I'm reusing content. I mean, I've written several books. I've referenced them all the time. Pushing sales for those. I have albums that are on iTunes.
Let's talk about that. Say the names. Let's get it out there. Go ahead. Plug your book.
My very, very first. I have several books. The two most popular ones are Dick Jokes.
I like that one. That's hilarious.
Yes. The whole you can get a hard copy from me right now because it's the pandemic. You can get them on Amazon. And the premise of the book is that words would be more fun if they meant what they sound like.
Right.
So for example, I don't mean to be too dirty, but elixir sounds like how British men give oral sex.
That's hilarious.
Obviously, like a couple weeks ago when we were going in on Cardi B's song because we go way dirtier than that.
WAP. Yeah, okay. We talk about WAP. Yeah, we talk about everything.
You really can't shock us.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know how friendly we have to be.
That was Wally Collins. We had him talking about Cardi B, and it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious. I think Larry was more embarrassed for him than Wally was even embarrassed for him.
Yeah, because I know the classy gigs that Wally Collins do. He doesn't do the grimy gigs that we're used to.
And that was hilarious.
That is Mr. Corporate right there.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he doesn't know about WAP, okay?
For real.
Right.
And here's the thing, I had no idea what was going on. I'm in my little New York Times, CNN bubble. I'm like, what is WAP? WAP? What's happening? So I finally went and listened to the song. And I was like, I'm a Prince fan.
Yeah.
I don't get to judge not nary part of this.
Yeah.
Okay. I know all the words to Darling Nikki, and if you shut up.
You remember when Dirty Mind came out? It was like, oh, this.
Thank you. Yeah. It's like sometimes folks don't hear themselves. It's like, do y'all hear yourself? These cheering and me. Like, really, y'all? Come on.
Really? Yeah, the people that were bumping and grinding to be so horny are really mad at Cardi B these days. Really? Okay.
Right. That's
no, they mad because their knees don't work like they used to.
Right. Yeah. They mad.
And they can't drop it like it's hot. They gotta hold on and drop it like it's lukewarm. I mean, that's the problem.
She done said it.
Whap
Yes.
I got a question.
Listen, when you can hear your knees, it's like, ooh.
I got a question for you. Yeah. You know how, like, when you're a comic, once you get to a certain level, you think to yourself, okay, I'm not leaving the house for anything less than this dollar amount.
Yup.
Yeah. Now that you don't have to leave the house, I mean, does that change the dollar amount that you want or demand to perform, or is it just like what you can get?
That's a good question.
Yeah, in some ways, particularly very early on, it was take what you can get. But as people get more comfortable with this format, with being in their square, they're realizing, oh, we do have to pay something.
Yeah.
I also find the donation model works surprisingly well. Yeah. When you say donate to a comic, and I have not been shy. Right at the top of my website is buy me a coffee, which is really just a really cute way of making a $5 or more donation to my art and the creativity that I'm putting into the world. Because I've been real blunt with folks. I'm like, I've been giving y'all free content daily for years and did not stop during this pandemic. So if you want to help a sister out, a sister will be very grateful.
All right, I might buy you coffee, but you ain't going to Starbucks. You're going to Dunkin' Donuts.
No, exactly. Listen, absolutely. Here's how hardcore I was. I would go to Dunkin' Donuts, buy my coffee, go to Starbucks because they had more comfortable chairs, buy their coffee, dump it out, pour in my Dunkin' Donuts coffee so I could feel like I actually
if that isn't New York, I don't know what is, yo.
Because I'm like, y'all not gonna call the cops on me for having a Dunkin' Donuts cup up in here.
Great.
Yeah, they rounding up white women, so they getting everybody. You gotta be careful.
Right.
That was one thing about like major cities, like especially New York. Even before the pandemic, there was really no place you could hang out if you weren't spending money. Now, it's like, where does anybody in Manhattan go to the bathroom anymore if they're out and about and they gotta like go to the bathroom? It's like no restaurant letting you in. No, what do you do?
It's that extra coffee cup you got. You got to hold that extra coffee cup.
Wow, really?
So, what's the name of the podcast too that you co-host? Because I
sure it's called Point of Inquiry, and it's the podcast for the Center for Inquiry. It's a secular organization that promotes critical thinking over mystical thinking. They're very big on separation of church and state, and I get to interview these like really cool people. Like I have one tonight, actually, when I'm done with you guys. We're doing a lecture series, and tonight's topic is about cognitive dissonance during the pandemic. Wow. And it's this woman, she co-authored a book called Mistakes Were Made, But Not By Me. And how when we make a decision, we double down on that decision. And you find justifications. Like if you just bought a car, like you bought a Honda, now Toyotas are dead to you. And you're going to justify why you bought that Honda until you get really hardcore in your position. And when that happens, it's really hard to back up and go, I made a mistake, or maybe that wasn't a right decision. Ooh, and then you can see that in the polarization of our politics. You go, how can people continue to support this president? They kind of have to. They made a decision back in 2016, and how do you back off from that?
Right. There are some people though that
some have.
Yes,
some have, but it's very. If you think about your own personal life, if you had an argument with somebody, you can tell all the ways that they're wrong, but it's very hard for you to figure out where you were wrong and to really analyze your own cognitive dissonance, because we all have that blind spot.
Yeah,
man. I read her book. I was like, you know what? There's some dudes I need to call and say I'm sorry. Like, you know what, boo? I was straight up wrong.
Sorry. Nope.
And I'm sorry.
Nope. Not me.
I got a quick question for Leighann.
Yes, sir.
I went to your Wikipedia page and noticed your photo. You were wearing a Dragon Con shirt.
I love it.
I'm glad to find somebody else who does those types of events, because for the last few years I've been doing shows at like different type of like gaming and science fiction conventions, and I was wondering how you got into that scene.
Well, first of all, giant lifelong nerd.
Yeah, me too.
So that helped, and that's actually was the intersection of my science fiction and my humanism, because those fields they kind of cross, and it's the same people. And so when I started doing shows for them, one lady was like, you know what, you should go to Dragon Con and perform there. And I'm like, what's Dragon Con? I had no idea. Yeah. And so this year, I've been going for 5 years. This year would have been my 6th. So it was by invitation that I got involved. And there are many, the only way to refer to them is tracks. There's different tracks, and that's who brings you in. And so it was a collaboration of the science track and the skeptical track. So I would go in, I would do my comedy show. They would have me moderating panels. Like I moderated the first panel when Wakanda. My panel I moderated was the science of Wakanda. You know, and I'm sitting on a panel. It was majority Black women from different areas of science. So I had botany, I had chemistry, I had psychology, and they're all analyzing the film from their perspective. And it was just like, and it was funny. I'd be sitting there listening, and then she would nudge me. She goes, "It's your turn to ask a question." I'm like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just like so into this."
Like I'm so engrossed into listening to.
No, I realized. So that's how I got involved. I've never been to New York Comic Con, but Dragon Con is just a different thing. It's so fan driven.
Yeah.
You know, and people cosplay hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh. I mean, you want to go, did you work on this film? Is this your job?
Yeah.
No, serious.
But I remember the year I went, there was at least 3 different like G.I. Joe Cobra squadrons running around.
Yes.
Tribes of Klingons, like aliens, predators,
listen, I saw a dude on the street. I'm assuming it was a predator costume, but it was so good. I'm like, if he wanted to invade, this would be the time, because it looks so real. And because I've been going for a while, and I don't cosplay because I know how serious they take it. So I bring out, I guess, what I feel like are my unique clothes. And I got several compliments. And it's like, "Oh, I love your costume. What are you?" I'm like, "I'm me."
It's funny though, because so many people dress up as stormtroopers that now they have to do stormtrooper variants. I saw, like, the year I went, there was like some straight up pimp stormtroopers, like stormtroopers, but they had the pimp cape, pimp cane, pimp hat on top of the armor.
The mashups. I love the mashups.
Yeah.
I saw a guy, I think it was probably 2 years ago. He was dressed up like Gandalf, and he had an elf mask. So it was Gandalf.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was so funny because people would look at him, and it would take a second for them to get it. They would go, "Oh," and he'd be like,
Yeah. That's funny. I'll tell you, I did go to New York Comic Con a few years back, and
how was it?
My mind. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I took advantage of like some of the workshops that they have there, and I stumbled in on, like, I had no idea this even existed, Black comic book creators and writers, and the panel was Daryl, from Run DMC, and Kwame. And all these Black, like, I was like, wait a minute, is this for real? Like, it tripped me.
No,
he was into all of that. He has his own like series of comic books that he does.
Wow.
Yeah, there's this convention in DC every summer. It didn't happen this year, but it's called BlurredCon, and it's basically just a Black nerd sci-fi convention. Yeah.
Yes. It's amazing. So
I've never been, but they come down to Dragon Con to promote their con.
Yep.
Well, a lot of those conferences overlap too.
And the pandemic is over. We should definitely do New York Comic Con 2021.
I would love to. Yeah. I mean, but I always feel like by the time I find out, the tickets are sold out.
Yeah.
It's like,
I'm gonna stay on top of this.
First of all, here's one thing I understand. It sells out really quick, especially the big ones. Secondly, it's expensive. Yeah. Like, nerd money is some serious. It's like hanging out with Puppy.
We gotta save up with
nerd events.
Save up for it.
Yeah.
See, I will say that's the only reason I get to go to Dragon Con. They invite me.
Yeah.
You know, I'm invited. I get the guest pass. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, but it is not a cheap proposition at all.
Yeah.
At all. And even by New York standards, the drinks are expensive.
Yeah.
I know a Wookiee or a Jedi better come in here and get me a drink. I'm not paying for this.
Oh my God. It's for real, for real. So real quick, Leighann, tell everybody where they can find you on social media.
Sure. The easiest access to me is my website, which is veryfunnylady.com. Because even if you like me after a few drinks, you're not going to get the GH in Leighann. That's just not going to happen. But of course, I am on Instagram at Leighann Lord, Twitter, Leighann Lord, YouTube is Leighann Lord Comedy. I produce a daily segment on YouTube, Lighthearted History, a bi-weekly series called Hanging in There. Which is my stab at doing a video show. You know, I still don't really know what it is yet. I just come on and start talking. And it's based on the idea that whenever you ask somebody how they're doing right now, the best they can muster is hanging in there. So that's where I got the name of the show.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on Funny Biz. Like, this was a pleasure.
You guys, thank you so much. I'm enjoying this. Do we have to stop?
I know. No, hey, you're more than welcome. Listen, I was gonna let you go. I know you have other things, but if you want to hang out, I have a segment. We start talking about national calendar days, and are you aware of the national calendar days? You know, every day is like a national calendar day, right?
Yeah. I actually have one of those books from way back, but you can find it all online now.
Yeah, years ago, I had no idea this was a thing. And at first I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like a pet peeve of mine. And that now I'm obsessed. So every Friday Eve, I always give the national calendar days, and I give everybody a jump start on Fridays, national calendar days, so they can observe something that they like. So you're more than welcome, because that's what we're going to talk about next.
Well, I will not interrupt the flow of your show, because you three have your own chemistry and way of doing things. I'm just pleased that y'all included me. Today.
Anytime, everybody doesn't get you can come on anytime, but you're definitely in that group of people.
Well, I'll see y'all next week then. Yeah. Because I think I have an opening in my calendar.
Hit me up.
No, this has been delightful. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. This makes my Thursday Eve.
Yes, right? And start drinking that bourbon like now.
I gotta go fill up.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Yay. Oh my God. How amazing is she? Come on now.
Yeah. Hilarious.
Like, I absolutely love this woman. So let's go into, of course, our national calendar days. We have some good ones, actually, y'all, that I'm like super excited to talk about, because I had I never know what the heck is going on, but I'm super excited. And of course, it's food. It's always food that I've
always, yes.
And so today, on this Friday Eve, August 27th, it is Pots de Creme Day. Do y'all know what Pots de Creme is?
Pot of cream.
This is what the internet said on how to observe creme. Pots de Creme Day. You have to savor a delicious serving of pots de creme, taste different flavors and compare. Like, basically, it's like a custard that you put in a little ramekin to serve it, right? So apparently it's supposed to be the creme de la creme, actually. Have you ever tried that, Larry? Because I know you're into.
Yeah, like I know I've been to a few restaurants where it's like, you should try the pot de creme. I was like, all right, I'm paying for it.
And you're just like, all right.
Yeah. You want to float me a free dessert? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about you, Karl? Have you tried any pot de cremes?
Nah, I was just going for the hot milk, but okay.
The hot meal. Oh God! All right,
so like a pot de creme pudding pop. He doesn't know about it.
Right.
Nah, you know what? What's the dessert? I guess it's the
creme brulee.
Creme brulee. Now I've had that. I like that. That's good stuff.
That's good too. I guess it's kind of close, but the brulee part, the creme brulee is hot though, right?
No, the creme brulee, they basically use a torch to caramelize the surface layer so it hardens.
But
where the pot de creme, it's just all like puddingy.
Pudding, yeah.
See, and that's where most people go wrong because they over torch the creme, and it caramelizes too much, and it leaves a bitter taste to the palate.
Oh, is that so, what yes. It leaves a bitter taste. So
it's blackened.
Blackened pudding.
Yeah.
Cajun style.
Cajun, yeah.
Right. Also, today is National Just Because Day. I like this.
Okay, that's you just not even trying anymore at the Just Because Day. Really?
Just because it's a real day. It's a real day.
National Fuck It Day.
Oh my gosh, we should really get that.
That's tomorrow.
Yeah.
It was a warm up.
Fridays.
Thursday and tomorrow is Fuck It Day. No, so the 2 days for this Friday Eve, just the Pots de la Creme and Just Because Day. So I'm wondering, how could we observe Just Because Day? Like, just because what are we gonna do?
I don't know, slap the shit out of somebody.
Just because.
Yeah. I like that. What is that for? It's National Just Because Day. I mean,
right.
Damn.
Perfect. Just don't get arrested.
Right? Hey, I know, Just Because Day.
So let's talk about tomorrow. Get a jump start on Friday. So tomorrow, and there's a good list on for tomorrow. National Thoughtful Day. So I mean, after we observe Just Because Day, I think it's only fitting that it's National Thoughtful Day. All right. So do something.
Think about what you did.
Right. Think about what you did just because. It's also National Red Wine Day tomorrow, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Nice red wine. I do like a couple red wines. Now, you know, I'm partial to my Riesling, which is a white sweet wine, but there are some sweet reds that I like. So you know I will be partaking in that.
Some Ripple.
It's also National Power Rangers Day tomorrow, y'all. Power Rangers. You remember? Who is that? That's Larry.
You know the song?
Red Wine by UB40.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh man.
Yes.
Anyway,
they were like,
so it's probably gonna be National Communion Day.
I remember a meme circulating a while back though. They were like UB40 is now like UB60 or something. They old.
UB Walkers.
Tomorrow is also National Bow Tie Day.
Okay, cool. All the guys selling bean pies, that's their joint.
Yeah. Now I want a bean pie, Larry.
In a while.
Things is delicious.
Karl, you need to bring me a Panzerotti, like stats, like ASAP.
I don't know if the Panzerotti is kosher with the Muslims, so I don't know.
This is not.
Oh, nah, it's kosher because you can get that cheese one.
Yeah, I never seen Farrakhan eating the Panzerotti, so I don't know.
Well, at least not in public.
Yeah.
It's National Cherry Turnover Day tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
That's gonna be good.
Petrus Farms makes a good one.
Seriously, like I'll have my red wine and have a nice cherry turnover. Wearing my bow tie, watching the Power Rangers.
Yeah, don't wear anything white because you're gonna mess it up with the cherry turnovers and the red wine.
Just dip that turnover in that creme stuff. That's how you do it.
It's also National Rainbow Bridge Remembrance Day. So that's a very special day. I actually, ironically, I was just reading I was on Facebook, I guess a couple days ago, and someone was saying, mentioning the Rainbow Bridge Remembrance. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's a real thing. It's a national day tomorrow. So please, August 28th, take a little break for yourself.
We're educating folks so they won't see it. They see it on Facebook, they'll know already.
We are educating. Now, let's move in real quick to celebrity birthdays. You know, if you're celebrating, it's Virgo season. Shout out to Larry. I know you're a Virgo. We just found that out, though. How was it that I never knew you were a Virgo until...
Because I never tried to pick you up at a bar. So, yeah, I know.
Hey, my name is Larry, and I'm a Virgo.
At a bar. Hey, I'm a Virgo. I like long walks.
Who still does that? I'm just saying.
That's it, everybody.
I got an uncle. I got a cousin, and I ain't gonna say his name because he might be tuning in. But I'm quite sure he does it because he got like a ring on every finger and be like, "Hey, baby, my name is such and such."
Stop it.
Sagittarius.
Let me pay your rent.
That's right. All right, so
rent is high as hell.
Let me buy some water.
Super excited.
Hello, what the hell?
So happy birthday if you're celebrating a birthday today on August 27th. Happy birthday. Like I said, it is Virgo season. And this lovely lady, it's her birthday. Why isn't that coming up? I have no idea. Anywho, it is Chandra Wilson's birthday, y'all. She is 51 and she looks amazing. And if I could get that picture up, I will. Hold on one second. For some reason, it doesn't want to come up, but you know I got the picture ready. There she is. Yay, Chandra Wilson. She's 51 today. You know this is my girl from Grey's Anatomy. You know.
Yeah.
No, she plays the chief of staff. And I think actually more recently, she is not the chief of staff anymore, but she's still amazing. So happy birthday to Chandra Wilson. And it is, we all know this person. Mace. It's Mace's birthday. Yay.
Yeah, man.
He's 45 today, y'all. You believe that? His real name is Mason Durrell Betha. Of course, we know rapper turned minister. Yeah, he's preaching the word now.
Yeah, there's more money in preaching the word than there is in rapping.
Apparently. And you know, he was teamed up with Diddy back in the day, but he is now a preacher. And last but not least, had to give this woman a shout out because obviously there were more celebrity birthdays, but I picked my top 3. And this woman, let me actually switch that first. It is Yolanda Adams.
Yolanda Adams.
Today, yes. She is 59 today, y'all. Woo! So
she can still sing. That girl can sing. Sing.
Record producer, actress, and former radio host of her own nationally syndicated morning gospel show. She's amazing. Happy birthday to everyone.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Karl, let me ask you something. Because it's really not my scene. Do gospel singers ever fall off? Like, you know, I've never seen any gospel artists on Unsung, you know, like where, you know, are you just always, once you become gospel, you just never just lose your following ever.
You know what? That's not true. It's like, we was just talking about this last week. It was like the comparison with the new school gospel. And actually it was Bobby Jones. He took a dig on a radio show on like 100.7. And he was like, just, you know, giving a shout out to the traditional gospel. He says, but now we have this new and he was about to say better. He was like, well, it's not better. It's just newer. He said, but you got to make sure you give credit to the foundation. But there's a lot of artists that fall off, you know, for whatever reasons, you know. I guess, you know, because Kirk Franklin kind of like reinvented himself. You know, I thought he was falling off for a minute, but he went and got some surgery done. Now he look like a toddler, but
that's got a lot to do with his clothes because them suits be way too tight. They look like Easter suits on a.
And if I gotta be traditional, I'm gonna be traditional and just keep it 100 and just rock regular men's clothes. Period. You ain't gonna have me in no tight suit. You ain't gonna have me in no crazy colors. If I go to your church and you got that's what's in the pulpit, I'm walking out.
I feel you. All right, so let's talk about next week's show very quickly, and I'm super excited. And Karl, these are your guys. We got your dudes coming on from. I'm like so excited about this. So from Ireland Entertainment, we have the director and some of the cast from the movie Last Shot. Right, so we have Terrence Arlen coming on. I'm super excited. He directed the movie, so we have them. So they'll be on our September 3rd show. And just so y'all know, it's actually, the movie is already out, right? It's available on Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, Fandango, Xbox Live, and more. So make sure y'all go watch it. You can stream it. It's called Last Shot. I'm like excited to have these guys back again. We had them on Funny Bits when what was the Karl, what was the other movie that he did? I just saw
Chase Street.
Chase Street, that's right. So Chase Street hit what was that, maybe like a year and a half ago?
Yeah, now it's on Amazon.
Dope. So yeah, so check out Chase Street, and now you can check out Last Shot. I'm super excited. So we'll have Chris Cream on, and I think 2 other cast members, but I am super excited. So that's going to be fun. And let's get the message of the week out, and then we will give our social media, and then we are out. So I ran across this quote, and it's short and sweet. I really like it. It says, "You can be over someone without letting them get under your skin. It's called forgiveness." That is the message of the week. Take that with you. All right. All right. So real quick, how can people find y'all? Karl, where can they find you online?
You can find me on Facebook as Karl Rogers, on Instagram at Iam.KarlRogers, and Karl Rogers Insurance on Instagram as well.
Yeah, talk about that. Get your insurance, people. Let's go.
Please.
And Larry, where can they find you?
LarryXL.com, LarryXL on Twitter and Facebook, comedian LarryXL on IG.
Awesome. And Kayla is not here with us. Her schedule has not permitted, but find her on Instagram under Satora _K. I mispronounced that name. Like I did not give her that name myself. That is hilarious. On IG, and also Unknown Healer on Instagram, and I believe Twitter as well. Find her. And y'all know you can find us. Make sure y'all like us and follow us. Funny Bits Podcast on IG, Twitter, and Facebook. We greatly appreciate it. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can always catch the latest episode. And of course, my social media is LaTice Comedy on everything: IG, Twitter, and Facebook. Also, my new Facebook page. Please go like that. It's under LaTice Jokes. I very much appreciate it. All right. So that was dope, y'all. We're going to play this music, dance on out of here. So see y'all next week, which will be, can y'all believe, September 3rd? I can't. Yeah, we're going into September already, guys. So thank y'all for tuning in. This was Funny Bits Podcast. We do this every Friday Eve. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Funny Bits Podcast. We appreciate y'all. Shout out again to Leighann Lord for being our guest today. We love you. And we'll see y'all next week with the cast from Last Shots, directed by Terrence Arlen. Bye. Peace out, y'all.